From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
Oh, Christ, do you wake my ghost? Sometimes it seems impossible. Did you give your body up to forge my trust? Did you give your body up just to suffer for my savage love?
It's Tuesday, August 20th, 2019, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios, he showed up on time today on the ones and twos, our illustrious brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, author, speaker, podcaster, cowgirl extraordinaire, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents.
And joining us for the whole show today, the opening music might have given it away. Joining us from Charlotte, North Carolina, singer, songwriter, prolific artist, our friend, John Mark McMillan.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. We are excited to have you sit in for the show today. Thanks for doing this, man.
Oh yeah, it's a treat.
I have a little note here that your album Economy is now available on vinyl.
It is. It is finally available on vinyl.
It's like, didn't it come out 7 years ago?
Yeah. It came out in 2011. So what is that?
Oh wow.
Yeah. 8 would be the quick math on that.
I know. Yeah.
The vinyl presses take a long time to warm up, and now
They
they are.
They do.
It's very cool. You're also doing like handwritten lyrics, right? Or was that like a one-time promotion? I saw it on Twitter, but is
People seem to like that, so I threw that in as sort of like a package deal, like.
So if you order the vinyl, you also get a handwritten lyrical note from you. Is that how it works?
Well, it's actually, I did this, I think maybe 10 of these, just 10, where I actually hand wrote the lyrics to the song.
So
oh my gosh, did it wear you out?
Yeah, it does. It's a lot. My hand hurts.
Yeah.
And I don't write much anymore. It's all on the thing, and like I had to remember cursive and,
Dude, I recently wrote a response to, I don't know, it might have just been writing a check, to be honest with you. And I never write anything by hand. And I'm like, my God, this handwriting is terrible. This is like a child who is using his opposite hand, like a right-handed child using his left hand. That's what my check writing looked like. So I feel your pain there, John Mark.
Coming up later on the show, we are joined also by Lisa Sharon Harper. She's an author, speaker, and activist. She was one of the 40 leaders that we spoke to for the roundtable conversations in the 100th issue of Relevant. So Lisa Sharon Harper is coming up later. Look at that. This is a packed show.
Yeah.
How do you hit her?
John Mark, I got one more question about the album promotion thing. Is it like a golden ticket thing, like from The Office, where Michael Scott like slipped them in 10 select boxes, or do people know if they're gonna get the one of the 10 handwritten notes?
People know. It's a very specific package. Yeah,
it was a very specific price point that they paid.
Very specific price point. Just trying to create some interesting,
Did they pick the songs, John Mark, or did you pick the songs?
I picked the songs. So I picked two. The two I thought were probably the most popular.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
That's cool.
I have a question. I think about this from time to time. An artist like you, like not just you, but artists like you, professional, you're popular, you tour, you create albums, but your albums are a couple years apart from each other.
Yes.
And you're not on the road all the time. What do you do? Like to fill, to fill your time. Like when you get up on a Monday morning.
Yep.
Do you get up on a Monday morning? Like I think about this. Like I have to come to work.
Is it write 12 songs by lunch every day? Is that the process?
Do you have a structure or because I feel like if I had your lifestyle, I would get absolutely nothing done at all ever.
Some days I feel like I get nothing done for sure. No, it's different in different seasons. Like right now I'm trying to finish a record. So like I actually had to clear some time today, not just for the podcast, but just because I realized I was spending so much time in the studio. When you're in the studio, you can't do anything else.
Right.
Because like I can't, I've got musicians that I've paid to be in the studio and I've got a producer there and we're working, 8-9 hours a day on the record. Like I can't be in the back on my laptop. I mean, this has happened before and this is terrible, but I mean, you're sitting on the couch on my laptop and they work on something for like 25, 30 minutes. And I look up, I'm like, oh guys, it's terrible. He's like, you gotta have to do it again.
I should have I should have said something 5 minutes in when I heard how terrible that was. Right in the middle of an email here, just to let you know. Can it terrible.
Exactly. I'm posting on Instagram, guys. I'm so sorry I missed that. You just played your heart out and it sucks. And you're gonna have to do it again. And I'm sorry I didn't give you direction like an hour ago when you were,
But that time is wasted. Yeah.
I know. So I have to actually clear time, and like there's an odd amount of administration that actually goes on for a music artist. And then like nowadays you're supposed to post all the time, and I'm trying to get my head around that. They're like, you should post on Instagram twice a day, and you need 7 to 11 stories, and you're supposed to be active on Twitter, and now LinkedIn is like a thing. Like, yeah, business people like your music too, so you should be on LinkedIn. I'm like, how do I do that? Like, I can't be an artist and full-time social media guru.
Yeah. And I have a question too, like about the LinkedIn specifically. Like, so that's targeting music fans who happen to be like, CPAs also looking for jobs.
Professionals looking for a new job. Yeah.
Yes.
Here's a playlist of my most professional songs. Here you go.
Exactly. If you listen to me before the interview, you're gonna get the job. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, these would all make a very good upgrade for the hold music for your HR department. Here you go, LinkedIn. Yeah, there you
go. We've been, listeners know we've been fans of John Mark's for years and years, and he's been on the show several times. He's played games with us. He's a good sport. But for those of you who maybe missed those episodes, we thought it would be good to start things off by doing some get to know you questions with our friend John Mark McMillan. I randomly selected a chunk of table topics cards. I in no way pre-selected these with you in mind.
Right.
And let me preface this too, John Mark. These cards are either like delightful and a lot of fun, like your old like cell group Bible study days when you what was your favorite, what did you want to be when you were a kid, or very awkward and personal. They're random, so we don't know which ones you're gonna pick. I hope that's okay.
All right. So here's the first question. Ready, John Mark McMillan?
Yes.
Do you have more mother or father issues?
Oh my gosh, Cameron.
More mother or father issues? I would have to say more father issues probably, but if I think really hard about it, oh gosh, how deep do you want to go, guys?
Hey, we're just getting to know you.
Start it off. You should know this. That question is specifically asking about Mother and Father magazine and how many issues you have.
Oh my
Were you
gosh.
thinking something else?
Well, first of all, I have a great relationship with both of my parents. But if I have to answer the question, I would say I have more father issues. I'm a lot like my dad, which is great. And also, then sometimes I'm like, oh man, I'm turning into my dad. But I also, the other day I realized that my mom is like the greatest person who ever existed. Like she is the sweetest, most awesome person. I also realized she also packed my lunch until I was a senior in high school. And she would do my laundry now if I had. Now that I have kids, I realized, oh man, my mom has been like my greatest support. And also she may have caused some issues with me and my wife because my wife does not pack my lunch. And she does not love doing my laundry. She does my laundry some. Well, she does my laundry all the time. Yeah, but so I don't know. So maybe the honest answer is I don't know. Yeah. I've got issues with both of them, and they're awesome though.
Do you look more often for the tragedy and comedy or the comedy and tragedy?
Oh, I'm always looking for the tragedy. I'm like hopeless when it comes to that. Like I like to entertain negative emotions for recreation. Sometimes it's terrible. I'm just
What's your Enneagram number, John Mark?
I'm a 4. I'm an Enneagram.
Yeah, for sure
4.
you're a 4. Yeah.
What's the 4 again? I can't ever remember the labels.
Need to be special.
The artists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The people with swoopy hair and
the people who will entertain sadness for fun.
Yeah, totally.
who recreationally like to be sad and angry. That's
100%.
I know. It seems like such a cliche, doesn't it? I know. I am a cliche.
What was the last big risk you took?
The last big risk that I took.
I know this wasn't directed at me, but I've invested a lot in the last Mega Millions and didn't work out. But it was a significant risk for me and my family that didn't pan out. So, we're all there. We've all done it.
We've all
big risk
done
I took.
it.
I won $700 in a casino one time. I'm not really into gambling, but we did a show at a casino, and there's, they had the slot machines and stuff, and I'm really not into gambling. So I was like, you should come play with us. I'm like, I don't really gamble. So someone actually gave me some money. I was like, all right, well, I'll gamble with your money. And it was time to leave. They're like, we got to go in 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, let me just finish losing my friend's money here, and I'm going to get out, right? And I won $700, right? Wow. In 20 minutes.
Did you keep it, or did you give it back to him?
Well, so the next casino, I was like, well, I won $700, so I have at least $700 to lose. I lost all $700. I was like, I'm done. I'm never doing this.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you. What was the game, just out of curiosity, that you won all your money on?
It was roulette.
There you go.
Nice.
A game of chance.
Yeah, I know.
I like
Annie, you're about to do it, right? You're going off the road, and
I'm doing it. I'm off the road I don't travel again until January 6th.
Wow.
That's a pretty big risk.
Yeah, you didn't tell my bank account that. I know.
You should start going to casinos with John Mark.
I know. John Mark, I got some money I need you to go handle. One casino, not two.
One casino, yeah. It's always the second one. What secret superpower would you like to have?
Man.
Secret superpower.
Secret superpower. I think it would be awesome to be really, really strong.
Yeah.
Not very exciting though. I could
do you want to look?
Keep talking
do you
about it.
Be like?
Do you want to
those,
look strong?
Yeah, like those massive guys who look uncomfortable because their neck is the size of a leg, or do you just want to have the strength but have your current physique?
I'd like to be able to make someone really mad and have them punch me and it hurt their hand. I think that would be really, really
that's a good
fun.
description. That's a really strong description of the level of strength.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah, no, I used to have friends who used to like to go out and fight. I don't like to fight. But every now and then, someone is just acting a fool in line, at the grocery store or something. I'd really like to just say something and have them punch me and it hurt. I think
at the grocery store. I love that. That's where most of your confrontations happen.
That's right.
Yeah,
I got one quick story related to someone punching and getting hurt. So I have some friends who are big. They live in New York, and they're huge fans of the New York Jets, the football team. And they bought an old bread truck, right? And they painted it green, and they painted the Jets logo on the side, and they loaded it with old junky living room equipment and a generator that they got from thrift stores. And they never go to the games, but they always tailgate at the games and set up a living room outside to watch. Okay. So they have the bread truck. They have it looks like an 80s living room just in the middle of a parking lot where they're watching. And they came across one of those heavy bags, like the old boxing bags, but not the speed bags, not like the Muhammad Ali one. One of those big one that's 5 feet long and hangs from a chain. And if you punch it as hard as you can, it barely moves, right? So the Jets were playing the Patriots, who's their big rival, and they put a Tom Brady jersey on the punching bag and put a cutout picture of Tom Brady's face on the punching bag. People could go by and take a shot. But remember, this bag is super, super heavy and barely moves, and no matter how hard you hit it. So they said this one Jets fan came storming across the parking lot and screamed at the Tom Brady dummy, "I hate you!" And he ran up and he roundhouse kicked it as hard as he could. Right? Straight shin to Tom Brady's paper face on the punching bag. They said that he kicked it as hard as he could. The bag barely, it looked like a slight breeze blew by. It barely moved. All the impact was absorbed into this guy's leg. They said the guy was down for about 10 minutes before he limped away. So all that to say, John Mark, it's a great superpower, and I hope you get it one day.
John Mark, to what degree does the daily news affect your mood?
Oh man, I think at this point I'm numb to the daily news.
Yeah,
I'm just sort of numb. I feel like I can tell you the news before I open it up.
Isn't that dangerous? It is
dangerous.
Yeah,
and a lot of the news is really, really bad too. So I mean, this sounds terrible, but I feel like somebody has hurt somebody else. Somebody's mad at somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the same stuff, right?
Yeah.
Trump said something and everyone's mad, and someone said something back to Trump and everyone's mad, and everyone's mad and everyone's mad, and the media is spying on me and everyone's mad about that. And but no one seems to care because they keep it up.
And
You
that's the
That's
crazy
right.
thing. It's like we're all just numb to it. And it's like,
I know.
wait a second, this isn't normal what's happening in America
No,
right now.
It's
Yeah.
not. And I mean, just to get more, not to get too serious, but there's a shooting. I'm like, of course there was. I hate that I felt that way.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like people got
Yeah.
killed. It's like, well, of course, this is just happening all the time, right? It's just terrible.
Yeah.
I felt that way, and I felt really
200
guilty for feeling that way. But I've almost got to the point. I used to try and post about stuff like that, but I just stopped. I was like, I can't post about it every day. I don't have anything else to say.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe I should dig deep down and say something. But
When you post about stuff like that, what's generally feedback? Because your listenership and your fans probably run the spectrum of political views and ideas about social things, and are probably across the spectrum even with how they identify their personal faith. What's generally like the reaction, or do you even like look at the responses and replies?
it's usually an all-out screaming match whenever I post about politics.
The most venomous ones, surprisingly, LinkedIn. His LinkedIn followers.
Is it?
Terrible.
Do you ever like
You're
look
so
at those
good at that,
LinkedIn
Cameron.
replies and then you just get so mad you go to the grocery store and pick a fight? Because I'm there all the time.
Okay. Are you generous or cheap with yourself? Generous or cheap with yourself?
With myself, as in I'm pretty generous with myself.
There you go.
Yeah, I try to be. I really do want to be generous towards everybody, myself included. So that's one of my goals in life, is to learn how to be generous. I try to be a good tipper. I try to, treat people the way I want to be treated most of the time. And I'm also really good at identifying my own needs.
Yeah.
And so I try to. Yeah, I try to be generous with myself.
You were generous with that second casino. You just went and gave him $700. What's the
donation.
biggest lie you told yourself as a child?
Biggest lie I told myself.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I misread it. What's the biggest lie you told as a child? There you go. I misread it. This isn't about your inner demons. This is about actually lying to your parents or something.
Yes. No, the biggest lie I ever told that I can think of at the moment, because I was a terrible liar. I always felt so bad. Even today, I feel so bad.
Oh, really?
When
You're
I
bad
lied.
at
I got
lying.
pulled over for speeding. Sarah was like, tell him you were what? I was like, no, I wasn't though. I can't do it. But I did tell some of my friends that I hit a grand slam home run and won the game. It was the most ridiculous lie ever, but I just got rolling. You ever just get started and
you
it
get
just
stuck with it. In fourth grade, I told a girl that we had a limo for some reason. And then it's like pretty
But hold on,
obvious.
you had a limo or you had a limo driver? Because it's two different things. Because if
No.
you tell your friend you have a limo, that means, it's nothing wrong with it. But that means you're probably, you got a limo driver in your family. But if you have a driver, that's a totally different lie.
Yeah, no, I told her that we had a limo, and then she knew that we didn't have a limo because my parents picked me up. I mean, it's like, it was a dumb lie, but you gotta double down. You gotta double
Sometimes you
down.
gotta flex. You know?
What did you do? Were you asking her to go somewhere with you, Cameron?
No, I think I was just trying to impress her.
But listen. I think in both of your guys' cases, the grand slam that never happened, or the limo that your parents don't own. They didn't own it yet, and the grand slam didn't happen yet. You were speaking it into existence, brothers. That's how this works. You
Creflo
just
Dollar.
throw it out on the mood board and just let it come. You might as well have hit that grand slam. You spoke it into the universe, So I don't got to beef with that.
Technically, I did hit the grand slam. It's just I didn't touch home plate. When I got home, I was so stoked. And it was the third out. So I actually lost the game, but I decided to ignore that
my
fact. I thought,
Is that true?
yes, that is true. All the other details worked. So I was like, let's just ignore the fact that I didn't touch home plate and that I got out. And then that was the end of it. Because
Man, that's a very sneaky lie, because you're lying, but you're lying and telling the truth at the same time.
And how old were you at the time?
I was probably 12.
What a savage umpire of a 12-year-old's baseball game that won't be like, hey,
Jesse,
buddy,
you
you
would
gotta
do
touch
the
the plate.
exact same if you were the umpire.
Oh,
No way would you let that go.
And then I would throw every parent that had a word with me out of there for the season.
100% you would.
Looking back, I might have actually touched the home plate because I don't know why I would have not touched home plate, but they told me that I didn't touch home plate. And
I would have.
Oh, was
I don't
he
know
a
why I
dad
didn't
on the other
contest
team
that.
or something?
I love that 25 years later, you are still thinking about
Still
it.
thinking you may have touched, yeah.
I may have touched home plate. I know. Well, think about that. Like, that umpire stole one of the greatest stories I could have ever told my friends, right? And to this day, I've actually told that story, and it's been a lie, and I have dealt with shame my entire life.
Wowie zowie.
I know. And so I recreated history to battle that shame. I recreated history to where it was a grand slam. And I probably believed it at some point. But looking back, I was like, I told my friends that I did that. I didn't. I actually didn't do that.
Like
I didn't even think about it at the time.
You could probably pass a lie detector test. Like, you've told it so many times, you actually start to believe it. Like, I mean, there are
Exactly.
certain leaders right now that tell so many lies that
I know.
you know that they actually probably believe them. You know,
I know.
so
Well, I read an article recently about how faulty our memories actually are.
Yeah.
And like most of our memory is actually us telling ourselves the story. And so it's like years later, it's like third, fourth, fifth hand. It's like you told yourself and then you remind yourself. You really just
That's
remember you
terrifying.
telling yourself the memory.
Yeah.
But a lot of our memories are totally wrong.
Yeah.
that's why when I watch a lot of these like documentaries and stuff about things that happened, 50 years ago and whatever, and they're interviewing these elderly people recreating or recounting this exact moment from World War II or escaping this or that, whatever. And I'm going, I can't remember what I did last Thursday with any clarity. You're telling me you remember minutia from 70 years ago that like, I don't believe it.
Well,
I agree.
that was that was the beauty. Did any of you guys watch the Bob Dylan documentary that Martin Scorsese did recently that was released on Netflix?
I haven't yet.
I watched half of it and I loved it. And I just haven't started the second half. I was falling asleep, not because it wasn't awesome, but because it was late. And I was like, I'm going to stop this because I'm not going to sleep through the end. I got to watch it. Yeah.
Like the concept is really interesting because it basically plays on that idea of like, what's the difference? But after a certain amount of time, what's the difference between what really happened and what should have happened or what we think might have happened? Because it's a documentary about this tour that he did that was really interesting. At a really interesting time in American history and him in his career as an artist. But they just weave in interviews with people who weren't there. And a lot of the things they talk about didn't actually happen. And like Sharon Stone, like has like an interview where she talks about being like a roadie, but she was never there. She wasn't even like in that part of the country at the time. But it's Bob Dylan. And that's what he always does is messes with the audience's expectations of what reality actually is. But he just plays on that idea. It's like so much time has passed. Who cares? What's going to be the better story? And that's kind of the fun of that documentary.
Well, that's how John Mark McMillan lives his life,
Totally.
I mean, what's the better story? Let's just double down on that one.
John Mark, you should have gone George Brett ballistic on that umpire. You should have stormed out of that little league dugout, like chucked the Gatorade bucket out in the field, picked up the bases and just, throw them over the fence. Just let him have it. Really create a memory no one's going to forget.
Did you see the interview with David Letterman and Jay-Z on the Netflix special? And David Letterman's like, well, this is really like, autobiographical. And Jay-Z's like, no, it's like hip hop is not autobiographical. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, it's lies. It's all lies. He's like, you mean this stuff didn't really happen? He's like, no, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
I heard Joe Rogan and Jim Gaffigan talking the other night about how like comedians used to be able to lie. They weren't lying to deceive you, but it's just the lie is more funny. And now it's like people get mad. They're like, I know that's not your girlfriend. I know you weren't there. I know this didn't happen. You're like, yeah, but it was funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Social media is ruining entertainment. Now everything has to actually happen and be real. It's like, I think sometimes the less real things are more funny or more interesting, right? Oh, wait a second, though.
And you can learn more from them, really, because people have thought about it.
And it's even funny. Cameron and I were talking about this the other day, specifically with Jim Gaffigan. It's like when you listen to that Rogan interview, or really you listen to him anytime he's off stage, you realize how much of the person that he is on stage is like this persona. And it's like this like sitcom character version of Jim Gaffigan that's not actually a whole lot like the real dude. And it's like, even that persona and that identity is technically a quote unquote lie, but it doesn't really matter because he's doing comedy. It's meant to be funny. It's not meant to like, document history.
Well, and he's going to have to. I mean, his whole thing is like, I'm a schlub who sits on the couch and I eat Hot Pockets. But in the last 3 years, he's made $80 million and they live in a and they have like 5 kids. And their whole thing was like 5 kids, Catholic family in a 2-bedroom apartment in New York City. They now have moved to a very nice part of New York because they're wealthy. And I'm going, the life that his everyman kind of schlub kind of thing isn't the reality of his life anymore. And I'm kind of saying to Jesse, like, I don't know where he's going to get his material from in the next 5-10 years. You know what I mean? He just doesn't have that relatable life experience. So he's going to have to live a fictitious persona.
I mean, he's still chubby though, so that's a lot of his jokes.
But it's like Kevin James.
You're the best.
Kevin James is like funny as a UPS driver because everyone knows that dude who's like him. But when he's like in a movie with The Rock, it's like, okay, the persona doesn't really hold up. Like, we get it, man. You've arrived. You're doing pretty well. We're going to move to Jim Gaffigan now. That guy still likes Hot Pockets. So,
all right, last couple. What are the best and worst things about being an adult?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's a great question, Cameron.
Best and worst things about being an adult. I think the best thing about being an adult is you get to pick your own bedtime.
Early or late, either way.
I know. I was just thinking about that with my kids. Like, they don't get to pick their own bedtime. Like, it doesn't matter if something fun is happening. It doesn't matter what's going on. Like, you are going to bed.
Yeah.
You are definitely going to bed. Right. And so I can sort of make that. The worst part about being an adult is that you have to get up.
That's true.
No matter what you do, no matter what time you pick, sort of like you're going to have to get up.
I think the best part of being a kid is when you go pick fights at the grocery store, the consequences aren't that great. Now I've seen the era of doing that as an adult. So
is science or art more essential to humanity? Science or art more essential?
I think I have a good answer for this.
Okay.
I think it depends on how you want to look at it. So science is more essential for like staying alive, actually staying alive. But like art gives you a reason to stay alive, So I think science keeps you alive, but art makes science a thing worth doing.
So which one is more essential to humanity?
I'm going to say art is more essential to humanity because if you don't have art, then sort of, and art can be, I think of like a relationship as art, right? But I'd say art because art is the reason that science matters.
Yeah. That's a good answer.
That's really good. Yeah.
All right, last one. In what era would you most like to have grown up?
I liked the era that I grew up.
Yes.
I'm glad I grew up before social networking.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But also, as much injustice as is in the world right now, like I would not want to live in the 40s or 50s. And I wouldn't want to live in the 1800s,
Why?
See, I could see you going Wild West. Like I could see you being,
I could probably do Wild
pioneer.
West. Yeah. I guess it depends where in the world,
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be kind of cool just to wander into a saloon, and win $700 there, and then get in a gunfight.
Wander into a saloon.
And then the guy who beat you pick him up and you push him across the bar all the way, and he's knocking all the glasses, going whoa, whoa. That'd be pretty cool too. So it's tough. A lot of good options out there.
All right, I liked it. There's some good answers there. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices. Listening to The City Loves Me by Buttes. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Enemy Love by John Mark McMillan. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
Oh gosh. All right, what do you have, Jesse?
John Mark, that's a shofar, by the way, in case you're wondering. I'm sure you picked that up.
We're a Christian show around here.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do a twofer because I always do. All right, so first story is, hey, do any of you guys like watching Friends on Netflix? It's one of the most popular shows on Netflix. I've never really gotten back into it, but are any of you guys Friends watchers?
No.
I was at a time in my life definitely a Friends watcher. I haven't watched it again in a long time.
Yeah.
But I've probably seen every episode.
Yeah, I have too. It's just it's not one of the go-tos on streaming for me.
Yeah. It's weird how much of a fun, like Netflix paid, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, like $100 million to keep it on Netflix for like another year because it's so popular. Especially, I feel like with younger viewers who never watch it the first time around, it really got a second life. But there's a company called frontierbundles.com. Basically, they're like they do like different streaming packages and communication stuff. Anyway, they're doing a contest to try to find someone who will binge watch Friends for 25 straight hours and live tweet it. The person that they select,
you should do this.
The person they select will get $1,000. They'll get a free year of Netflix and a bunch of Friends, memorabilia from Central Perk or whatever. So all you gotta do is watch 25 hours of the show. And you get the $1,000, but you got to live tweet it. You got to take like selfies of you and your friends watching the different episodes, tweeting the catchphrases or whatever. And my question to you guys, if you had to watch 25 hours of a show in exchange for $1,000, what would you select?
$1,000. Sorry, repeat. Do you have to watch it in a row? Does it have to be an all-nighter kind of experience?
It's 25 straight hours of a show.
Jesse and I have done this with Nicolas Cage movies.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've done it, Jesse.
Trapped in the cage.
You've done this.
But it was for a good cause. We were raising money for others, not for Jesse to get $1,000.
Yeah,
how much did we raise?
We raised like $40,000 for charity water during that.
Do I get to do whatever I want with that $1,000? Can I just is it just play money?
It's cash money. This hypothetical money. You could go to the casino and blow $700 right off the bat.
I can give it to John Mark to go make me money.
So around the horn, real quick, which show would you watch for $1,000, 25 straight hours of?
Seinfeld for me. I would watch Seinfeld for 25 hours. I might do that anyway.
That's like a pretty good Saturday, actually. Yeah,
that's the issue for me. Is like Office, Seinfeld, ones like that. Like I've seen so much, it would actually be hard to stay plugged in. You know what I mean? Because like I literally know every word of every episode. So I'd have to go with one that I like. I'd have to go like 30 Rock or something that's like quick and sharp. And I've seen it a lot, but you find nuances and new things every time you watch it. Or like go old school and like do like news radio. I could do a news radio marathon.
Sure.
Underrated.
I would probably I never finished Mindy Project. There's like 2 or 3 seasons left on Hulu that I never watched.
Yeah.
So I think I could go back to the beginning and do all of Mindy Project because I thought that was really funny. And for some reason, I just fell off the wagon.
Yeah, I would go for just something that'd be funny to tell people. Like, I'm watching 25 hours of Golden Girls this weekend. Who's that? Like something I really don't have any interest in. I'm pretty agnostic about. Like, why not? Sure. Okay. So people have till September 3rd if they want to try to be the Friends watcher. So good luck, relevant podcast listeners. You could be.
Oh, I hope it's one. Can we make they'll get $1,000 and we'll bring them on the show if they do it?
If it's one of our listeners, we'll absolutely have them 100%, on the show.
Okay,
and we'll have them on during the live watching. I will figure out a way to make that happen.
Brilliant, Jesse.
We'll figure out a way to make that happen. Okay, now I'm going to do one that's a little bit more serious, and I'm interested in your guys's. Okay, so Pew, the research agency, recently did one of their big studies. It involved about 11,000 Americans, and they used their methodology to make sure it's pretty representative. And they wanted to know how much do Americans know about the major religions. Interestingly, 8 in 10 U.S. adults could answer a lot of really common questions about Christianity. Like they knew that Easter was about the resurrection. They knew about the Last Supper. They knew the doctrine of the Trinity. They also knew things like that Moses was a figure who led the Exodus out of Egypt. They know that David killed Goliath. Like 8 out of 10 recognized those things. Now, there was a significant drop when it was other basic information about other major religions. For example, only 6 in 10 adults knew that Ramadan was the Islamic holy month. And only 3 in 10 U.S. adults knew that the Jewish Sabbath begins on Friday. Also, not a lot of people knew that the Jewish New Year was Rosh Hashanah. Most Americans didn't know much at all about Buddhism. And what they also found is that the groups of the population that were most likely to be able to answer the most questions across the board were actually the Jewish population. They knew a lot about Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, and atheism. And coming in second and third was atheists and agnostics. They were all significantly higher than mainline Protestants, who were pretty far down the list. So what the study ended up showing is obviously like most of the population says that they're Christian. So it's not super surprising that most of the population knows basic stuff about Christianity. But Christians, out of all the groups, were one that really didn't know a lot of things about belief systems other than their own. I thought that was really interesting, but I wanted to kind of pin it, shoot it to you guys. Do you guys think that Christians should do a better job of at least being aware of the belief systems of some of these other major religions that share our population?
I mean, I'm going to say I think we should.
Yeah, I that's what I was thinking too. Like,
it makes sense that the atheist knows more than we do about other religions, because I figured if you're going to just totally tap out of religion, you ought to try a few, you know, and not just be like one and done kind of thing. Like, yeah, I think we should know. It is, growing up, there was a lot of pressure to like, don't try anything else. You might like this other religion, so don't,
Yeah.
But gosh, I mean, if you're going to make like if you're going to make a real decision about anything, shouldn't you like have some basic knowledge of the other options? I mean, are you actually choosing Christianity if you don't even know what's happening elsewhere in the religious world? Is it actually a choice, or is it just?
I think that speaks to the cultural Christianity. It's kind of like you just kind of came up in the church, you went every once in a while or whatever. You kind of get the main plot points, and you aren't really exploring the other religions. Whereas academic, rigor is a big part of the Jewish faith, and obviously atheists and agnostics kind of. They chose what they chose because they've explored the options and rejected them, so they're more informed. It doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah, Annie, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been thinking. It's very similar. I think y'all can all correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels very similar to how often we expect everyone to know English. Right? Like we just expect everyone else in the world to know English. And if they don't, then they're in the wrong, versus us recognizing that we aren't the only language that matters. And so I think there is something in us. And when I think about growing up, I don't remember until I got to college learning about world religions beyond very basic things.
Yeah.
But I also grew up in the South, and I grew up in a Christian home, and I grew up where that was where we went to church and spoke English. Right.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, it does. Your survey you found does not surprise me at all.
Yeah. And I do think it's kind of interesting, speaking to sort of like the golden rule thing of like, love your neighbor as yourself. And like, that's easy with like the easy stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to be polite and kind. But when it's like, I would appreciate if my friends and people that I interact with that don't believe like me had some understanding and compassion for my views. But I feel like that expectation also should probably extend to me. And you look at like Paul, he used examples from, Greek culture and Greek philosophy and, the religions, the world religions at the time as sort of like entry points into conversations with people that he was trying to communicate the gospel to. So I felt like it was an interesting study, but not one that was particularly surprising. But I hope it's one that like in the future generation, Christians can be right up there at the top of the list, not so far down that we're the ones who don't know about anyone other than ourselves. It was a kind of a telling survey, but again, one that probably the results weren't that surprising, but I think, hopefully could lead to change. I don't know if it will, but
yeah.
What does it make you think? I mean, all three of y'all are raising kids. What does it make you think about when you're raising your kids?
Oh, Cohen, through travel and other things, I want to expose him to a lot of different cultures and viewpoints and all that. And kind of, I'm not scared of his horizons being broadened and that he drifts because of it. I think he'll have a more well-rounded faith and worldview, and I want that for him. So.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I want my kids to experience a lot of different things. I want them to I want them to choose. I don't want
Right.
Jesus to be forced on them, you know,
Right.
and I got to believe that if Jesus is it, then you can put Jesus in the ring with the others and he'll come out victorious. I just hate that statement, by the way. That shows.
No, that's good.
Because it's not a fight.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
a
Picture that
battle,
old
is
Christian
it?
bookstore
You know?
painting of like Jesus in a boxing
Jesus
ring.
is gonna win.
All oiled up. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, I guess I don't think we have to be afraid that these other influences are going to be.
Stronger than.
Gosh, all my language is terrible. It's all so tribalistic. Prevail, you know, but it's, you know, but what am I trying to say here? Make me sound smart, guys.
There's a
No,
lot
you're doing
of
it.
there's
Yeah,
a type of Christian parenting that we've all seen and some experience where it's like you put such tight clamps on the kids to protect them from the evils of the bad way, and you just the thing that you're, you know, when they go off on their own, they many times rebel against it because they you know, have to go explore and learn on their own or whatever. And it's like the thing that the parents were afraid of is inevitably going to probably happen. And it's just like, how can we guide without, you know, making that mistake is going to be an interesting thing to.
Yeah. And even
work
like
through.
churches, I feel like could do a little bit better job. I mean, obviously the job of the church, you know, to some degree, a job of the church is to equip people with the gospel and the truth. But at the same time, like I would rather, it seems like more helpful to people to come to the writings of someone like you know, Sam Harris or, you know, Christopher Hitchens or someone like that on term with other Christians and sort of in an environment where there's open discussion and the ability to kind of have the support of a community than just like going out and discovering it on your own and feel like you have this forbidden book that you're not supposed to read. So you're just, you know what I mean? And like, I've seen that happen to a lot of, you know, strong believers. They encounter ideas that are really challenging to some of the foundations of Christianity, but because they discovered it alone or with not the support of other Christians, it's really swayed them in a way that's not good. It didn't strengthen their faith. It really damaged it. So it does seem like something that not just like parents, but I feel like churches in general could do a better job of.
Yep.
Yeah. And I've started to wonder too, if maybe I've had a bad idea of what it means to be a Christian. It doesn't seem that Christ is asking for allegiance the way a person would, you know, like it doesn't seem like Jesus is asking, you know, hey, be on my team. It's almost like he's saying, if you do what I do, then you're on my team. Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I've even thought of it this way, like Jesus isn't so much the like coach or the team owner, like Jesus is the game. Right. And so it's sort
That's
of like,
fun.
it's not really about, I don't know, to me more and more, it's not about like picking a side, picking a religion, picking a belief as much as it is like a practice, right?
Yeah.
You can pledge allegiance to, you know, Jesus and still never really enter into the practice.
Yeah,
Right.
I think
Still never enter
that's
into
become
the-
abundantly clear, like in recent. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, you know, interpret that however you will, but like, you know, that certainly seems observably true. You know,
I don't know.
Jesse with the hot take.
Yeah, Jesse, always.
It's that Golden Girls influence on him.
Yeah, it's that 25 hours of Golden Girls without
if
sleep.
more people would encounter a day's worth of Golden Girls, they'd be way more equipped for the value systems of the Boca Vista community
No,
where they
that's
lived.
Seinfeld.
I know. I don't know the community they live in.
They had their own home. They didn't live in a retirement community.
I thought they did. I thought it was like the one that
no,
Kramer
they
became
have their
president.
own house, Jesse. They're
They had their own
independent
house,
women.
man.
Jeez.
Strong, independent women.
I
They're
didn't
just
say they weren't
roommates.
independent. They just were older, and I feel like older people lived in Florida retirement communities. That shows my ignorance to the Golden Girls, and obviously,
Yeah, you're gonna
I should
enjoy
have.
that
My
25
parents should have
hours.
done a better job exposing me to that than to weird action movies and Seinfeld when I was a kid. So there you go.
What do you have, Annie?
Okay, I need to know. I don't know this about any of y'all. Tell me your level of DIY-ness. How good are you at home repair things?
0.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
I'm terrible.
I can do anything.
Terrible. I can't fix
Wow.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything beyond changing a light bulb, I'm like, we got to call somebody. Like, I don't know who
uncut
we're
the
calling.
grass.
Go on Craigslist, get somebody in here because there's no way I can unclog that sink. I'm not even going to attempt because I will absolutely make the problem worse. Not even close.
too.
It's So
Okay, so let me tell you this survey that I found. It said that millennials, those people between 25 and 34, came in rock bottom in a test of basic DIY jobs like changing a light bulb, fixing wobbly furniture, or stopping a door hinge from squeaking. So they even did worse than Generation Z, who's the 18 to 24 range. So they gave them 2,000 people. They gave them 9 pretty simple DIY tasks like changing a light bulb. And the millennials were the least capable to do any of them. The very top, the best, were people over 55.
Of course, because all they have to do. That's all they do is tinker in the garage all day. To be fair, Annie. But to be fair to these millennials, two of the three out of the 3 of the things I'm not very confident in. And if you're talking about one of those weird fluorescent bulbs that have like the 2-prong things you got to turn in, I'm about 50-50 on that, guys. Because I've broken one. I've literally broken one trying to install it before, and I'm like, we should have called somebody.
In your hands?
There's no reason I should be dealing with a dangerous fluorescent light bulb. We could call somebody. I'll call my dad. Let's get him
I'm
over.
gonna be
He
the
can
old
figure it
guy
out.
everyone hates and say, well, they're all still living at home anyway, right? So
Right. There you go.
either that or they're still in college, They've been in
they have
college
no
for
pride
like
of
20
homeownership
years.
'cause they live in a
10 years of
basement.
college. Sorry. I'm terrible. Everyone hates me. I just got disowned and unfollowed, but sorry.
It wasn't
I
the
know I'm
political
wrong.
hot takes.
I know I'm wrong, but I couldn't help it.
Yeah, I can't do anything either. I can't fix a single thing in my house. And that's not a female problem. It's purely that I just have never learned. My dad wasn't very handy. And so didn't have the daddy like change the oil on our car, or he did lots of other great things, but handy was not one of them. And I don't know how to do anything.
This is how unhandy I am. There's a chair in our house that's like it rocks, and it has a couple components to it, and something on it broke. And so I had another family member in town visiting, and they wrote a note and put it on the chair. Like, no one's sitting this. The chair's broken. And I would just walk by that note for like 3 months. And then one day I'm like, I'm just taking the note off. I'm going to leave the chair broken, but at least I don't have a note sitting on it because that looks very tacky. And I was like, yep, problem solved. No one's sitting that. Just friendly reminder.
I'm just too cheap. That's all. Like over the years, like if I want something to be done, I'll just have to figure out a way to do it, or watch a YouTube video or something. And like if I can figure out how to do it on my own, then I don't have to pay anity. That would be my thing.
See, I'm cheap too, but I also know me trying to do this is going to end up being far more expensive than someone getting a professional that actually knows
right there
what
with
they're doing.
All right, and bringing a slice today.
Yes.
What do you have, John Mark?
Okay, so I read this a while back. I was going to ask Cameron about this because you live in Orlando, right?
Right, yep. I do.
And but I read this a while back, and I woke up thinking about this. I don't know why I woke up thinking about this, but apparently people keep scattering their ashes at Disneyland.
That's
what?
According to the Wall Street Journal, custodians at the famous theme parks are claiming that not only do guests bring their family's ashes to scatter, they do so often enough to prompt a special code word for it.
What's the code
word?
HEPA cleanup, referring to an ultrafine vacuum cleaner. It apparently happens so often, they have a special term for it on their little radio. We got a HEPA.
Where do they?
Gosh. Yeah, what do they do when they suck them up, I wonder?
I don't know.
You know what they do is they put it in like a machine and condense it all down, and eventually they become figures, and it's a small world. It's terrifying. Those are all hardened bodies.
Dude, I was thinking like, okay, yeah, there's a ferry, and like, okay, so they're out and okay, it was a special place for the family, and grandma wants to be at Disney, but I didn't think about the rides. Like, I wonder if people are like in Space Mountain doing it.
See, that's what I immediately thought of, like the last scene in The Big Lebowski, where like they're going, like, I want you to throw my ashes into the wind on the descent of Space Mountain, and that person up front just throws the ashes and they just blow right back in the face of the person behind them. What is that? Oh gosh,
Gross.
it tastes like It's a Small World smells. Yeah.
Apparently, the Haunted Mansion is one of the number one places that people do this.
Oh,
no.
Well, there's ghosts and spooks and stuff. So now,
yeah. Dude, that's creepy. I don't like the idea of cremation, or I don't like covert spreading of ashes. It just feels really gross to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want when someone's, I feel like human remains, like there's got to be something, there's a reason we put them deep in the ground. It's just gross. Like, it's a burned up body. Like, it's so weird, you know?
I'm thinking about the mindset of the person who's in the Haunted Mansion ride, and then they're sprinkling it onto the ground. I mean, they like in the ride, they know that the lights come on after hours and they vacuum and sweep up grandma. I mean, that's horrible. Like, that's bad for grandma. Like do it in the bushes or something, you know? Like,
John Mark, what are your feelings about getting ashes spread? Is that how you want to go?
I don't think so. I think I want to be buried. I heard a scientist talk about this one time. When you're cremated, there's energy in your body, you know, like you create body heat, right? Yeah. All your energy is gone. It goes into space. You know, heat rises, it leaves your body, it's gone. It's when you're buried, all that energy goes into the ground. I kind of like giving my energy. So
you're part of the system
earth,
again. You're like helping back out to the planet if you get buried.
Yeah. I want to, give it back instead of just giving it away. Let's do something that's beneficial for the.
I heard about like these holistic. I don't know. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I've read about sometime like some sort of like holistic funeral thing where they would like bury you in like organic stuff and then plant a tree like right over where your body is. So as you decompose, you're like fueling the tree so people can go back visit the tree. Now, if I hadn't already decided on my Viking funeral, where I have said this a million times before, but it's true.
Yes, you have.
How I'm going is I will be pushed out to sea on like a little raft, and I will be covered in very flammable materials. Everyone on the beach gets a flaming arrow. The person that hits me and sets me ablaze, they get all my stuff. That's how I'm going out. If that doesn't work out, if the city gets involved again, then I'll do the tree thing. So I've already decided. That's how I'm going. So either that or the descent of Space Mountain. Just throw my ashes.
Yeah, I was about to say, what ride would you want to be tossed around in if you threw your ashes at Disney World?
Well, what's the thinking process? I can imagine somebody would want to be scattered at Disneyland, but is Disneyland that important for that many people? Like that your final resting place is going to be at Disneyland? Like, I don't know. I have a hard time understanding thinking maybe they had a really great time. Maybe their parents took them there when they were kids and their parents passed away and that's their favorite memory. I'm trying to think through this, like why you would want to do that instead of being like scattered on the Grand
There's
Canyon.
A lot of Disney fanatics out there, though.
Yeah,
like,
there
are
true.
People that are freaks about Disney. And mine would be, okay, I have very specific instruction. Find the funnel cake stand. Put me in the container with the powdered sugar. And that way, my remains will always be walking around Disney with guests. I'll always be on vacation at that point. So
it's the happiest.
Do the right thing here.
Happiest
Find
place
the
in the
coffee
world.
machine.
I want to be drinking
Disney.
by Disney employees.
Yes.
In the Folgers.
This is a nutty blend we got today. What is this? What kind of
earthy.
is this?
Kind of earthy.
Very earthy.
Yeah.
Very earthy.
Is this from Guatemala?
This tastes like It's a Small World smells. What is this? It's so good. So good.
All right, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Lisa Sharon Harper joined us.
I can tell you fame ain't what it seems. Yeah, I can tell you money ain't a thing. Yeah, I can tell you happiness and choice. I can tell you the importance of your voice.
You're listening to Get Puncher by Futuristic, featuring Andy Mineo. Well, Lisa Sharon Harper is an author, speaker, and founder of the justice group Freedom Road. She's also Auburn Seminary's senior fellow, and her latest book is called The Very Good Gospel, How Everything Wrong Can Be Made Right. Lisa was one of 40 activists, artists, leaders, and influencers to take part in a series of roundtable conversations in the 100th issue of Relevant, which is out now. Specifically, we were discussing the future of the church and the issues that will shape it moving forward. Tyler, you are the one who had the conversation with Lisa. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it was really a really rich conversation with Lisa. She's such I was really impressed and learned a lot from her command of American history and the ways that we ask her for an overview of what she sees as being sort of indicative of the last 15 years of faith history here in the States. She has dates and a lot of factual knowledge to back it up. I was really overwhelmed. She pointed out something that was really interesting when I asked her about how she's seen the faith conversation change, in the US, because she pointed out that while there was a time sort of in the late 2000s, early 2010, 11, 12, where evangelicals were very interested in social justice issues. That's when you saw a lot of the movement with Darfur, and you saw a big rise in the push to combat human trafficking among the church. And then she thought that seemed to hit sort of a roadblock around 2014, 2015. And here's why.
And that is where we began to see the clear break between which parts of the church actually really understood justice as integral to the gospel, as integral to the scripture itself, and which parts didn't. And I think, unfortunately, that what that revealed was that the far greater portion of the evangelical church in particular really had no value or very little value for justice when it came home on our home turf. We valued justice when we could point the finger at another foreign nation like Sudan and say, this horrible thing is bad. But we didn't have, and I still think we don't have, the nuance and the understanding of justice, of biblical justice, and the call to shalom that it takes for us to begin to refocus on ourselves, on our own land, on what happened here, and understand the intricacies of the construct of race and what that did, and the project to maintain the ever-present project since the late 1860s to present to maintain the supremacy of whiteness through the political system within America and the law within America.
So obviously referring to the sort of the coming home of a justice movement here in the U.S. with things like what happened to Eric Garner, Mike Brown, Tamir Rice. That situation was what really brought the justice conversation home, and obviously it was much more divisive among Christians on a social justice perspective than things were when you're talking about overseas justice issues.
Yeah, it's interesting, looking back at the evolution of how large portions of the American church have approached social justice issues, especially over the span of our 100 issues. Like she was saying, it's very non-controversial in a lot of ways to look at issues that are happening in faraway places that, we don't fully understand the social complexities of, but when they come home and, like it's time to align and ally with like the Black Lives Matter movement, you see these sort of divisions in the church that are really unfortunate, but I think it's an important point that she points out that it shouldn't be like that.
No, and as she points out, it would be, if you were to read about some of the things that do happen to people like Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin. If you were to read about those happening in other countries, it'd be very shocking and very concerning to see that these sorts of things were happening. But when you're here, it feels much closer to home, and it attacks some of your preconceived notions about the kind of country you live in, and then it becomes very difficult. I asked her, because she was very interested in social justice as being part of the gospel. I brought up to her that I've spoken with a few people, both friends of mine and some Christian leaders, even for Irrelevant. I've spoken with some Christian leaders who perceive that maybe the emphasis that the modern church in America is developing on social justice is getting a little out of balance, that maybe there's been an overcorrection from a time in maybe the 1900s where social justice was not seen as being part of the gospel at all, to now maybe is there a worry that social justice become too much of a focus for the gospel? And she, I would say she disagreed. Here is her take on that.
I think you have to ask the critical question here is, who does that gospel, who does that good news benefit? When they talk about the centrality of the gospel, I want to ask, whose gospel? Whose good news? You see, that gospel that takes justice, the value of justice, and pushes it to the margin and over spiritualizes every reference to justice, more than 2,000 in the scripture. That gospel is handed to us from the social location of people, of nations who financed slavery, of nations who colluded with, partnered with, and became empire. And yet, Jesus was brown, indigenous. In other words, he had a relationship with the land that went back thousands of years. And he was colonized by empire. So, who are you going to go to in order to understand the brown colonized Jesus and what he says is the good news? Are you going to go to the slaveholder or the slave?
Yeah, it's such powerful thoughts that, really put the social and historical context of the Bible and the gospel into perspective. I read an activist recently say on Twitter, that they've been accused of like preaching the quote unquote social justice gospel. And their response was, no, I'm preaching the gospel. Like that is central to it, So yeah.
And the question of who this is good news for, obviously, like if you have a gospel that really challenges the status quo, that suggests that maybe things shouldn't be the way they are, then that's going to be very good news for people in certain positions of authority and power and influence in the U.S. But it is not going to be good news for people who have been historically marginalized. And what Lisa is suggesting is that maybe that's not historically. That has not been the tone of the gospel. So I admire the challenge that brings. And I hope that people who are concerned about what has been called, sometimes derisively, the social gospel, can take that to heart. And then I ask for people who have been confronted with the realities of race and the way that it's sort of the way the white supremacy has sort of infected some of the ways we talk about Christianity here in the States. What can we do? What's the step forward for people who are willing to listen and who are interested in making a change? And she said very plainly, it's time we're at a come to Jesus moment in this country.
People of European descent really are in a come to Jesus moment right now, because it's in this moment where we have babies in cages, we have children killing themselves or dying in detention centers on our southern border. We have cops using labels like gang or drugs in order to do major sweeps of Black neighborhoods that fill our jails, even after the new Jim Crow came out and after Obama's initiatives to begin to deconstruct mass incarceration. The current administration is actually putting all those measures back in place. And it's happening. And I think that folks it's a come to Jesus moment, because people have to really decide, which Jesus are they worshiping?
That's a question that comes up in conversation with her a lot is who is your Jesus? What does your Jesus look like? What does your Jesus represent to you? And is that an accurate portrayal of the Jesus that we have in the Bible?
Yeah. And Lisa speaks with such honesty and clarity and conviction on these topics that, I think part of what was so incredible about her contributions, not just to this conversation, but, in the issue 100 roundtable, is her ability to kind of show the evolution of these ideas, not only in like a historical context, but also in the context of how it's affecting the church. Just not on the political level, but we see, destructive ideologies in powerful institutions trickle down and infiltrate the church. And, she does such an incredible job at sounding the alarm on that.
Yeah. She's extremely well versed in that history and in some of the shapes that, particularly politically and socially, the ways that Christians have occasionally taken action against these destructive social movements, political movements, and some of the ways that they have succumbed to them. So if that's something that interests you, then I would absolutely encourage you to look up more of her work, follow her on Twitter, and obviously check out our conversation with her in issue 100.
Yeah.
Well, that was Lisa Sharon Harper. Make sure to read more in the issue 100 of Relevant. It's out now. You can check it out at relevantmagazine.com. Stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
Summer's in the sun, 2 feet in the sand, 2 kids on the run, following a plan. It is nothing to do something and unplug from all the rackets.
We like to think the church is a haven for the hurting, but what happens when it's not? The passion behind the Me Too and Church Too movements show no signs of relenting. As more stories of abuse and secrecy within the church unfold, it's clear that this is not yesterday's problem or a Hollywood problem. This is our problem, and survivors are speaking up. Author and advocate Mary DeMuth is using her voice to dare the church to listen. DeMuth's new book, We Too, unpacks the church's historical response to sexual violence and provides a healthy framework for a new way forward. We Too urges the church to become what it should be, a place of security instead of shame. We all know someone affected by sexual abuse. It's time to listen, act, and help find the road to healing. Visit we2book.com for information and resources. That's book.com.
You're listening to Summer Sun by Kennedy Williams and LAVL. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week, we asked you what professional activity you think you could jump into and do without any professional experience if there was some sort of like fan zone opportunity. Yeah. So we told you about the news about the fan at the Oakland A's game where they were doing the thing where they clocked the fastballs for the fans, and this guy consistently was throwing mid-90s, and they ended up signing him because it was like unbelievable professional level talent. We want to know what sort of event, if there was a fan zone for you to participate as an amateur, would you get called up and be able to do professionally? Yeah. You guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and here's a few of our favorites. I think there's 2 overarching themes, Jesse. Did you see this? 2 overarching themes. Number 1, if there was a fan zone for doing the Relevant Podcast, a lot of people think
that was offensive.
Yeah.
You think this is easy? Just ask John Mark how hard this is. John Mark, tell him it's hard. Don't tell him that this is down.
Don't tell him the truth.
It's been mind-numbingly easy.
The other one was, like Kara said, if they had a fan zone at Bethel or Hillsong, I could jump in and lead worship.
You're brutal.
Okay, here's the thing. And I know, John Mark, you run in circles with some of these cats, but whenever I see like a Hillsong or Bethel thing, I'm like, okay, there's like 15 people on stage right now.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you 3 of those instruments aren't even plugged in right now. Like I could be the backup guitar player just rocking it out. And it's like, no one know. Or I'd be like the percussionist where if you're in that big arena, no one's hearing my tambourine if it's a little bit off or just the rain stick at the beginning of the real slow song. I could do that. Like all I'm saying, you could throw me up on stage with one of those big worship bands. You could contribute. And I could find a way to look like I belong there. No one would know. I agree with that person.
No, you wouldn't be wrong. You wouldn't be totally wrong.
Okay, this is from a listener named Tyler. He said, I could go pro in most of the ESPN Ocho sports. So they did this again the other weekend where they made ESPN2. They actually made it the joke from Dodgeball where they called it ESPN the Ocho, and they just had like insane sports playing all day. So he said stone skipping, chess boxing.
Chess boxing. What is that?
Chess boxing.
So between, I think it's between chess moves, you like exchange some punches.
Yeah. I would love that so much.
Really?
Putt-putt championship, lawnmower wrestling, world sign spinning championships. Tyler thinks he could jump right in. The only one I feel like I could jump in and honestly compete with professionals is probably lawnmower racing. I can't imagine. There's anything. Seems like the lawnmower's doing most of the work there. You know,
You said compete with professionals. There are professional lawnmower racers.
Semi-pro. I'm sorry, semi-professional lawnmower. I'm sorry. Don't want to.
Tim, that was unnecessary. You said, you guys make me feel like I could probably be a professional podcaster.
He said, by like tomorrow. That was the comma
Hey,
between
guess
like
what,
and
Tim?
tomorrow felt real personal, Tim.
Guess what, Tim? You know what's stopping you from doing a podcast? Nothing. So let's hear it. Let's hear it, Chief. You see how easy this is.
Tim actually says, I think I could be a tournament fisherman in about 5 minutes. Give me a boat and gear.
I agree with that. That feels incredibly easy.
Yeah, if you have the pro gear and the pro boat and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have spent too much time trying to catch fish and gone home empty-handed. Like when I go fishing, I more often than not don't catch anything.
Yeah.
So
It
I'm
is
always
tough.
shocked when someone catches.
It's like but I think the really good fishermen, it's the science of it. They understand the habits of the depth and the water is this temperature, so they're going to want to eat this sort of thing. Like whenever we go fly fishing in Montana, like the guides are like putting on different types of bugs depending on the time of day. And it's like, I don't know that science stuff.
And I always tell the guy, listen, man, I know you're trying to help me here, but that's not going to help at all. I'm terrible at this, and nothing you do is going to help me catch any trout out of this river. Nothing's going to help. Sometimes on ESPN, they'll have like professional bass fishing on, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, but my favorite thing about the professional bass fishing is like the guys are dressed like stock car drivers. Like they're in like a fire suit. They have like 1,000 sponsors all over. They look like real athletes. And it's like, I'm gonna be honest, it's hard to get in the excitement of this when you're just putzing around on a boat with a trolling motor, like in a lake in Arkansas. It's not like in the Amazon or something. Like there's people sitting on the shore at their backyard cooking out while you're having a bass fishing tournament. It's just not my excitement. There needs to be some element of danger out there. Like for sports to really get me, there has to be at least a chance someone's gonna get hurt. And bass fishing doesn't have that, you know?
So what would you do to spice up like fishing tournaments to add the adrenaline angle that you're looking for?
I would make them halfway through the tournament. Everyone's got to jump off the boat and the boats drive away. And then because the survival tournament, open water situation, open water. It's like a Navy SEAL type of thing.
I think you should use paintball guns, and if you shoot the other people in the other boat, you get to take their fish. And so it's not really about who catches most fish. It's also about who's able to maintain their fish, to hold on to their fish.
I like that a lot.
I like that. That is great.
Yeah,
that would be
okay,
thrilling.
I'm gonna step it up a notch because it's like while the fishermen are hunting fish, they are being hunted. So what if there's only one boat driving around taking people out with the paintball gun? So you're all like trying to elude this hunter. You know, it's very meta. I like it. It's kind of the food chain type of situation.
The strategy I'd to have is just like lay low, let everybody get their fishing in, they catch a bunch of fish, and then you just go around and snipe them all and take their fish. I don't even need to catch anything.
It's like a chess game at this point.
Boy, y'all turned this thing real dangerous for the humans.
That's what you need now. And now everyone's watching. Now everyone's like, you hear about this fishing tournament where they're shooting people with paintball guns? We got to see it. Bryce said, I hope to go to a lightsaber dueling tournament and be discovered. I've been practicing since I was 5. Hey, real talk. Cameron, I sent you a picture of this one day. The rec center that I go to play basketball at sometimes has on like every other Saturday, they have legit lightsaber tournaments there where these cats show up with their lightsabers and they battle right there. And there's like judging and points and a whole deal. Having watched a lot and watching the athletes that participate, I'm extremely confident I could win one of those tournaments just with brute force, just with brute swinging wildly.
Dude, I told you when I lived at my last house, there was a big city park out front. And on Saturdays, they would have LARPing tournaments. And it's the same thing, isn't it? Like lightsabers and LARPing?
Except without medieval tools, you have like lightsabers,
Yeah.
John Mark, how do you think you'd fare at a lightsaber tournament?
I don't think I would do that great.
Yeah.
I don't think I would do that great. My kid's got this little toy where like you wear a vest and like if you touch it with the sword, like it goes off. So it's like real fencing. Because you do that fake playing where like really the other person is really just trying to hit your stick, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like how often do you really like, all right, I'm going to hit you with the stick and you're going to try and block me with your stick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
Right.
you're both in on the joke until like, okay, I got this little shoulder pads. I got this little vest. You hit me 3 times and I'm dead. Right.
Yeah.
I realized that's really hard. I would die in a duel. In an actual duel, I would die so fast.
It's funny, when I was a kid and I'd watch like a movie that had sword fighting in it, and I thought that was the point of sword fighting. It's like, I don't know what this resolves, but they just run at each other and try to hit swords. Like that's what it looks
Yeah.
like when you watch it in the movies, you know?
It's like
Right.
a dance.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's more feedback where that came from. Go check it out on our Twitter page. Okay, it's time for this week's
Editorial question of the week.
All right. Well, earlier in the show, we were getting to know John Mark McMillan, and we thought today's question of the week should be one of those questions. So today's question of the week is, what's the biggest lie you told as a child? What's the biggest lie you told
Hey,
as a
and tell us the
child?
outcome too. Like, did you ever get caught? Are you finally getting off your chest, or did it blow up in your face immediately?
Yeah.
Because
Is this the first time you're telling us?
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that are like, this will be the first time they've admitted
Yeah,
to
they've
this
said it out
lie.
loud.
I mean, John Mark, he's walking lighter now that the baseball story is out there in the open, and everyone knows the lie behind the grand slam. So this is your opportunity, people.
Well, many thanks to Lisa Sharon Harper for joining us. Make sure to follow her on Twitter at Lisa Sharper, Lisa S. Harper, and read more of that conversation in issue 100 of Relevant. It's out now. You can view it at relevantmagazine.com, and it's available at newsstands nationwide. Also, hey, huge thank you to John Mark McMillan for sitting in for the whole show. This was a lot of fun, man.
So
man.
fun.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's a blast. Way to start my week.
Yeah, man, you did great.
The very first question on a Monday morning, it was, do you have more father or mother issues?
Jump, coming in hot,
Getting the adrenaline flowing, the emotional adrenaline. Economy is for sale now on vinyl. Go check it out, and make sure to follow John Mark at John Mark MC on Twitter. Well, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
Chandler String.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Annie F. Downs.
I'm John Mark McMillan.
We will see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Oh, Christ, do you wake my gold? Oh, sometimes it seems impossible. Did you give your body up towards my trust? Did you give your body up just to suffer for my savage love?
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
But I think I'm losing my head, losing my head. Oh, Christ, do you wake my gold?
What is that? Oh gosh, it tastes like It's a Small World smells.
Relevant Podcast Network.